We kind of have an entire company approach. So we don't come in and just sell you a computer. We don't come in and just do a firewall or your antivirus. We protect, support, and secure your entire network. So we go from the very bottom of making sure that you've got antivirus all the way up to a SOC protection that covers everything that's going on in your network. It looks over everything and makes sure that you're as safe and protected as possible.
And that kind of conversation goes like, back in the day, we were really solving a technology problem. We were installing better firewalls, we were installing better switches and servers, things of that nature, so we can stay more efficient and it's reliable. But nowadays, with cybercrime being where it is, I don't know if you know this, but there's more money made in cybercrime globally than all the illegal drug trade.
Cybercrime is going to break cartel records in 2021.
Oh yeah,
I heard that there was going to be $6 trillion next year.
It's insane. Like it is known in our community, and a lot of customers and business owners don't realize this. But for a very small budget, you can start $1 million cybercrime organization, and you can do it behind a keyboard, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what. And these attacks are happening to everybody. If you look at the most recent events on the hospitals in the U.S., and also small medium businesses are being targeted even more during COVID. And with the work from anywhere type of practice. And this is critical for business owners to start thinking about how we're solving a business problem. We're not just buying new technology, because we have to stop the threats. Otherwise, we won't be able to protect the revenue that we're creating, but also protect the employees and just the overall business wealth in general.
You are dead on. You are dead on. That is, that's really like what I am really passionate about. My background is in kind of that break fix world. Mm-hmm. And I used to take care of my customers like that. And when I met with Ethos last year, I heard about what they were doing and how they were doing it and how they were partnering with enterprise level security and management vendors to really, really take care of their customers, support their customers, so that they've got their help desk piece. They can get their little tiny problems like user password changes and things like that solved quickly, but also higher level to protect them from threats like that. And it really, really flipped my mind to see that this was not just a technology thing. It's not just a line item in your budget anymore. It really is an entire business mindset. It's got to be part of your strategic planning. It's got to be part of your long range goals, is what you're going to do with your business and how you want to grow your business.
Yep, so, and you're exactly right. Me and you have shared the same kind of background, right? Working for like a break fix approach, then go into it like a managed provider approach, because in that break fix model, a couple things happen is you or the end customer are never happy with each other, because you're only getting paid as an IT company when their stuff is broken, and they're not happy with you at that transaction. So now, as the evolution of that partnership changes and you guys become more of the trusted authority in that area, you're more integrated in their business and you're really helping them improve their bottom line.
Really helps to free up the IT staff to focus on the projects that they might be doing internally. It frees them up from having to worry about updating the servers, making sure that all of the patches are on the end user computers, making sure that the firewall's up to date, because that's really what Ethos Secure does. It makes sure that your firewall is completely taken care of. And when there's an issue with that pops up on our service board and our guys take care of it. They are the ones that update the firmware, that all of the background boring stuff that your IT group might not, it's not tasks that they want to do.
That's right. So you guys are kind of becoming the first responders, right, for that IT organization. So they can focus more on their process procedures. Maybe they're more in a compliance industry such as HIPAA or something of that nature, right? And also one of the problems that we're solving is that the big shortage of whether it's cybersecurity experts or just in the IT industry alone. I know in 2021, the upwards projections of over 2.5 million unfulfilled cybersecurity jobs. So it's about helping getting that expertise and really solving that for your customers.
Yes, they don't have to be the experts of everything, because we've either got people in-house, or we've partnered with people that make sure that that is their only focus.
Right, and it's such a strategic partnership, right? Because they don't have to increase their payroll. They don't have to go out and buy these tools that you guys are utilizing that they're currently not. So it really adds a lot of extra value to that partnership.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's a great question. There's a couple different pain points that we're helping our partners solve that are also helping the end customer at the end of the day help solve the business problem that is cybercrime. One, there's way too many point solutions to choose from. So an end customer is going to have a lot of heartaches trying to figure out what is the perfect fit as far as their technology stack. Second one is what we talked about just a second ago is all the unfulfilled jobs and not enough cyber analysts in the world. It's creating, those point solutions are creating a lot of different panes of glass to look at. The third one is when we do have to react and respond to all this data that we're ingesting and looking at. Look at problem two, we don't have enough folks around to really take care of it. So which partners like Ethos Secure that's being powered by Overwatch, we're monitoring the environments 24/7 across the entire new IT landscape. It's no longer on-prem and no longer does the firewall and the endpoint antivirus enough to keep you secure. There's a much bigger problem than that now. We have things Microsoft 365 or G Suite. We have people working from anywhere, working from home, and untrusted networks. So we need to make sure that we have those cyber analysts looking at all the events happening in near real time to help detect threats and anomalous activities. Yeah, so 10 years ago when cybercrime was not as big as it is today, we didn't have phishing attempts, smishing attempts, business email compromise, and it wasn't monetized, right?
Right.
So back in the day, you're kind of protecting yourself from those viruses or somebody doing a DDoS attack. So having a decent firewall and endpoint agent would really solve a lot of those problems. But as the landscape has changed and as cybercrime has become such an issue for businesses, we have to react and create better barriers, if you would, right? So we've added different ways of putting all these different applications into one platform and having eyes on glass so we can monitor that for our end customers and our partners to make sure they're not being utilized as a way to monetize and make money. We're correlating all the events that are happening from the firewall to the endpoint to the servers to what's happening in Office 365 and creating one event around it to make sure that we stop it. Because to your point, when you look at the Lockheed Martin kill chain, and not to get too technical, the first stage is called reconnaissance, and that's kind of known as dwell time in our community. And on average, last year in 2019, the average dwell time of a bad actor in your environment was 194 days. And when I started understanding a lot more about cybercrime several years ago, I always found that eye-popping. Say, oh my gosh, the bad actor's in my closet for that long before they decide to launch their attack. That is a long time. That goes to speak on why a firewall and antivirus just isn't enough anymore. We need to catch them as soon as possible to make sure that they're not encrypting your files or demanding ransom.
That reminds me of a customer of ours that came to us before they were a customer of ours, and we assessed their network, and they had actually just been breached. And from the time that they had been breached until they actually figured it out and called us, it had been right around 4 months. So it had just been sitting there gobbling up all of their information and keystrokes and passwords and all the things.
I'm not surprised to hear you say that. And that's why it's so important for people to have somebody like Ethos Secure, because you guys have the process put in place. You guys perform risk assessments for them. So that way, not only will they be able to properly fill out their cyber security insurance, but they can have everything put in place so they're not neglecting and they're solving the business problem that is cybercrime. Great information, Amy.
I am so glad you hit on that cybersecurity insurance piece. What we have been able to do, I've seen it on 2 separate occasions. Someone's brought a cybersecurity rider to us, and it has been said, oh, we can't approve you, or underwrite you, there's the word. We can't underwrite you because you don't have this and these specific things in place. You don't have constant monitoring. You don't have your things being backed up. You don't have your computers and servers being patched regularly. So we are not going to we're not going to give you the policy, or you're going to pay a whole lot of money for it. So I'm really glad that you brought that up.
That's right, because in the days when I ran an MSP about 3 to 5 years ago, a lot of those questionnaires were like, do you change your password every 6 months? Do you have a firewall? Okay, fine, here, we'll write you something. But what has happened is that I would imagine that the cyber insurance companies have lost their pants, so to say. And now they've changed the questionnaire because they understand a lot more why you need to have active threat hunting in there. You're backing up your syslogs, you're patching your firewalls and your servers, and you have a disaster recovery plan. And this is something that Ethos Secure does for all their partners, correct?
It is. We absolutely do. We do disaster recovery planning. We back up all of your things. We come in and we protect and we secure and we support you.